What's good, YouTube fam? It's your boy Tony, aka Descendant of Chaos and Controversy, and here I am today talking about New Year's resolutions. Everybody coming into a new year wants to make changes to either better themselves or moving forward from where they were in the previous year. To shed themselves of the old person that they once were that probably was either toxic, non-productive, unmotivated, or anything that, kept them from either being happy, um, being successful, um, having health deteriorations and stuff like that, or making better choices in life, you know. um, because what is it? Keep doing the same thing over and over and over, expecting the same result is what insanity, right? Um, but I know for me, I don't just have one New Year's resolution. I have many resolutions on my list of things to check off coming into the year 2021. Um, People say that they do things just for the sake of saying it. They don't really believe, basically because they don't believe in themselves. Um, and it's understandable. We all have been there. We have that momentary motivation of drive. When the spirit is there and the energy's in the atmosphere, and you have that positive outlook on things, and then that energy just dies down and you fall back into the same routine of business as usual, entertaining old habits, um, not recognizing one's worth, not appreciating the value of yourself, or taking for granted what roles others have played in your life that try to make you a better person, and there's like no show of gratitude, but it's all about you, but not in a positive way, but in a negative way because you're selfish, but for all the wrong reasons. And it's not to say that people aren't allowed to be selfish. Sometimes you have to be selfish in order to better yourself. Sometimes you have to be selfish in order to, grow beyond where you were at one point in your life in order to evolve, mature, and move on. You know, um, I've had to do that. And but it's more of I moved on to break away, or people have moved on from me to break away, and there were things that were left unresolved. Nothing was ever fixed. The problems were always still there, and it just went unaddressed, and it just wasn't no solution brought to the table to attack a problem with any remedy to the issue. But looking back on my life and a lot of the mistakes that I've made, a lot of the poor choices that I've entertained, and basically me being my own worst enemy. And a lot of people will just have the attitude to just say, fuck it, I am who I am, and just let it be, let their character be without any more development beyond where they are at whatever particular stage or point they are in their life. I refuse to be that person. I have to accept a lot of the bullshit that I put people through, that I've allowed myself to go through, some of the nonsense that I've entertained, and it all has to do with not just doing it for myself, but I have a child that needs to look at somebody as an example, and I can't be that poor example. Not anymore. Not anymore. I know a lot of times when people acknowledge their faults, their flaws, and where they went wrong in life and stuff like that, and they accept it so they can move on, and they know it's a process that they have to go through, and they know 9 times out of 10, depending on whatever demons that they're dealing with, sometimes their road to progress isn't going to be an easy one. But in the meaning that they're not going to fool themselves in thinking that things are going to be easy, they are often met with skepticism from outside entities, um, criticism, judgment, and sometimes that might deter a person from wanting to better themselves. But for what I know in regards to my character, when it gets to a point where zero fucks are given, because I'm mostly a person that lives my life based on isolation anyway, that I could really give a fuck about what other people think. Because all the heckling that they do to look at you and disregarding anything that goes on in their life or disregarding the content of their character, for whatever makes them sleep better at night. Like I said, I don't pass judgment on other people. I might be in my moments where I might have an emotional breakdown or I might be pissed off, whatever. But when I get to a point where I have a level head on myself and I can come to a point where I have rational thought, then I become the person that, okay, I listen to the voice of reasoning. Um, but sometimes that even isn't acceptable, you know. And I understand there are people that thrive on being the unforgivable types of people, and that's cool. It's understandable because sometimes you gotta understand what you probably did to not have done right by them, and acknowledging that you have to take responsibility for that means that okay, you're moving forward. Now that that's all said and done, what are you going to do in regards to bettering yourself? And some people, when it comes to their New Year's resolution, they just they don't take it serious because they don't take themselves serious and things like that. I have to look at certain things that I wouldn't never thought to be possible. Now, I'll give an example. I want I wanted to drink so bad and I wanted to get fucked up so bad. And part of the temptation is if you have things that enable you. Like how else are you supposed to get like fucked up? You have to have money, right? Um and I took care of my bills and stuff like that and food and things like of that nature, and I was like, damn, how can I discipline myself not to do anything fucked up? And I'm sitting there from last Wednesday up until now with $70 in cash and money on my card. And I said the only way I can defeat temptation, the only way that I can strengthen myself is to allow things to be within my grasp, within my reach, to see if I can overcome certain obstacles. And to prove my point, as I tested myself to see if I was going to be strong enough not to give into temptation, not to give into old habits and addictions and stuff like that, I still have the money. people say, "Well, I don't get it. What does that mean? Why is $70?" I mean, okay, most people, are dealing with what they're dealing with right now due to the pandemic. Most people are dealing with depression, anxiety, broken homes, and addictions, and things that will all be ingredients to have a person self-destruct. And I'm honestly going through my own spat right now. You know, yet somewhere in the midst of all of the controversy and all of the depression and all of the chaos and all of the turmoil and all of the whatever, the negative energy that plagues people, that corrupts people, that infects people. Um, somewhere somewhere there has to be that sense of positive attitude. I know I don't. I'm not a carrier of that for the most part, not at all. But if no effort is applied, how can it grow and be utilized to develop and progress and to make somebody better than what they were? I've taken a lot of things for granted in my life. I am not ashamed to say it, and I'm not saying it with arrogance like I don't give a fuck. Because as much as I try to pretend that I don't give a fuck or that I don't care, deep down I do. I do. But sometimes when you care just a little too much, people just use that opportunity to just want to fucking step on you or walk all over you because they feel so self righteous. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. But to get to my resolutions, one is to always be active and involved in my son's life. Um, two, no matter what my son's mother and our where we stand, I have to come to a point where we have to be civil, where we have to respect each other and not allow, especially on my behalf, because I have a hard time dealing with doing this. It's not let my emotions get the better of a situation because it only just creates a domino effect of bullshit. So I take accountability for that. Um, I have to check my health. I have to be better about my eating habits, exercise, not entertain habits like drinking or drug abuse or anything of that nature. Um, get back to being the person that I was back in my early 20s, where I was just money hungry and aggressive and determined. I had a drive about me where nothing was going to prevent me from achieving a goal. Right now, I've just entertained being stagnant in my life. And I got to get myself out of that funk. Um, but that's my reality. That's my truth. But those are my resolutions. So I'm using this as a bookmark in my life. So when I reflect back on this, I can say, damn, that's where I was. Now here I am. So with that being said, hopefully by the end of this year, at this particular point going into 2022, 2022, um, I'd have progressed. And this can be one of these moments where I can reflect upon and say, see where you once were, now look where you're at. Hopefully, but you guys know the drill. Until next time, until next video, peace.